all
Burn out. A lot of energy, a lot of
Miss Amy,
fail.
share with me.
Yeah, definitely. I will.
Should we do these programs and then have our pledge to the flag, or should we do the pledge to flag?
like we always do, but you have to, you need to do it in that order.
Yes, okay, yeah.
You know, like, it was a lot,
We'll take a look at the head on that.
but I will.
We're ready.
Good evening. Welcome. This is the Ripley County Council meeting of October 20th. Please join me to pledge to the flag. I pledge Thank you. Good evening. This is October 20th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the opening of the public hearing for the Ripley County budgets of 2026. I'll need a motion from a council member to approve for this public, no.
So, you just need to make sure there's nobody that wants to speak on it. 'Cause
All right.
it's like-
It's
And then you
public.
just close it.
Do we have anybody that'd like to speak on the hearing of the Ripley County budget for 2026? I see none, so I need a motion to close this public hearing of budgets for 2026 from a council member, please. It's been moved by Ron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by David. There's been no discussion. So all in favor, raise your right hand to close this meeting. Those opposed, same sign. 7-0.
I
Thank you.
abstain.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I wasn't
Six.
here.
You can still vote on it, as long as you listen to me, you're okay with it. It's just a public hearing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
7-0. Thank you. So this public meeting of the Ripley County budgets is officially closed. We have a meeting. The next meeting is the opening of the adoption of the hearing of Southeastern Indiana Recycling District and the Batesville Memorial Public Library for 2026. Do we have any discussion?
You do need a motion to adopt that.
I'll need a motion from a council member to adopt the Southeastern Indiana Recycling District and the Batesville Memorial Public Library.
So moved.
It's been moved, properly moved by Stan, and it's been seconded by Ron. Any discussion? Hearing none, all council members who are in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. 7-0. I need a motion to officially close this meeting. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
It's been properly made by David. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Stephanie seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Now we're going to be opening the regular scheduled meeting of the Ripley County Council. I'll need approval of the minutes from September 15th, 2025. Do I have someone to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Stan has moved. Do I have a second? Ron, you seconded it?
Okay, second.
And it's been properly seconded by Ron. Any discussion or corrections to the Ripley County Council meeting minutes of September 15th, 2025? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign.
It's up to you. Did you read them?
I watched it and read it, but,
Then you can vote on it.
You're okay with
okay.
7-0? Thank you. Amy, did you get that down? Stan moved, okay. Now we're going to do,
Just reassuring Andrew.
Sorry, I'm in a weird place. I don't know.
transfers for this meeting of October 20th. We have the sheriff. And what this is, $2,000. It's communication radios for the jail, which caused the invoice to increase, $2,000. Do I have a motion to approve this transfer?
I'll make the motion.
Andrew has moved.
I'll second it.
And I have a second from David. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. We have from the sheriff, it had a cost of pool overage which caused the shortage. It's for $690.27.
Motion.
Stan has moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Diane has moved for a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, motion's been properly made and second. We'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. From the sheriff, $1,410.41. This is due to an increase in pricing. Do I have a motion to approve? These are transfers.
I'll make the motion.
David has moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Diane has moved to second the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. The motion's been properly made and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is Sheriff, $5,000. This is due to an increase of jail mats and chemicals, toiletries and gloves, etc. Do I have a motion to approve this transfer?
I'll make a motion.
Stephanie has moved. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
It's so moved by Stan. Any discussion?
It's Steph and Andrew.
Well,
They
Stan
both
looked
said
at me.
same
and said,
She
time.
was looking right at me and I went like that.
Oh,
So,
okay, I'm sorry, I heard Andrew. So it's Stan?
Yeah.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Continuing with transfers. Commissioners, $5,000. This is due to insurance with a lawsuit.
It's the
And,
deductible.
okay, this is a transfer.
Motion.
Andrew has moved. Do
Second.
I have a second? And I have a second by David. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same
Let me
sign.
explain.
Okay.
I do all of them for you guys. I know you both are looking at
I
me like,
know why it was on there.
okay, I'm like, you both are looking at me like I did something wrong, but I wanted to explain myself if you had questions.
All right, Commissioners, $28. This is to cover the Kubota insurance. Do I have someone move? Ron moves to approve this transfer, and was it Stephanie?
Second.
And Stephanie seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Highway Department, this is to cover the parliamentary deck overlay for $2,452. This is transfers between bridges, 193 to 172. Do we have a motion to approve this
I'll make a
transfer?
motion.
David? I think it was Diane.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Prosecutor, this is to cover envelopes for child support mailings. Prosecutor, $1,380. Do I have a motion to approve this transfer?
Move.
Andrew, do I have a second?
Second.
Stephanie, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Court services, we have to reallocate funds for $564.95. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Diane, do I have a second? Ron?
Yeah.
Any discussion?
Who was second?
Ron? Diane and Ron? Hearing none. we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0.
Amy, I have a question too, and I maybe should know this. Do all office supplies come out of like county general, or do they all have their own individual office budgets?
Everybody has their own. I mean, like my office comes out of county general, but it's under my location.
Okay.
Everybody has their own line item depending on what budget they come out of. If you look at your budget book at the top, it'll tell you the fund number and it'll tell you the location to where it comes out of.
Got it.
Here we have additional appropriations. This is EMS, $25,000. This is from an employee changing from an individual to go to an employee family. Do I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
David has moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Stan has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, it's been properly made and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is EMA, and this is for the new graphics on the new vehicle. $1,493. Do I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Stephanie has moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andrew has seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is for the jail. This is the new maintenance employee at the jail, and this is the, can we do these three, Amy? Social Security,
No.
PERF? Okay, this is
And the
for,
reason why these are done now is because I made sure it was going to be approved before I done all these appropriations and then had to back them all out.
okay. So this is for the new maintenance staff member at the jail, $1,619. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Ron has moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ranger.
Andrew? Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is for the maintenance individual, and this is the PERF.
I'll make the motion.
Andrew has moved. Do I have a second? And I think that was Diane.
Diane.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is for insurance, and it's $11,813. Do I have a motion?
Andrew.
Andrew? What's that? Okay, excuse me.
I'll second it.
And David? Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. This is court services, $3,000. This is to pay for different items and stuff, miscellaneous items. Okay, sir, would you like to share with us? You want to
I
identify yourself and
I can.
your position?
Yeah, so this one is a non-tax-based fund. This is the money that we collect on administering drug screens. So, and we just didn't have enough to cover for the remaining of the year. If you're talking about, I thought you said the first one was the 3,000.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'd make a motion on,
Andrew has
oh, you
moved.
did
Oh,
second then.
You already made it, Ron?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron and then Andrew seconded. Any questions?
No.
Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Court services, and this is money for food and drinks for the Ripley County Child Welfare Stakeholders
I'll make
Collaborative.
that motion.
Yep.
And it's Andrew has moved.
Second.
Stan, do you have anything?
Real quick, you don't see that kind of money coming out of a fund, but this grant was designated that I received just to facilitate this new collaborative group that just started for the first time. So $3,000, the grant was to provide funding for the holding of this group meetings. So that's where it comes from.
And you're required to
That's
have
right.
those meetings.
Well, I wrote the grant, and I asked for $20,000, 17 of which to pay for a staff, 3,000 to pay to have a year's worth of meetings, and they went for it, so, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, yep.
It's been properly made by Andrew, seconded by Stan. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign.
Sorry, Peg, I don't mean to take that lightly.
No.
Judge King and I wrote this grant, so he was
Okay.
instrumental. He actually did the lion's share of it. I'm facilitating it, so thank you.
We appreciate
Shannon,
those collaborations.
what's the group gonna do? I was just curious.
Well, real quick, I won't take up any of your time. We feel like there could be some reform in the local welfare ongoings, both, at the local level with expediting cases, making sure that is the quality of services at the local, are there gaps in services? So we've had one meeting last month, we've got work groups that's meeting throughout the month, multiple work groups, and then we are meeting quarterly, but Judge King has kind of comprised a bunch of stakeholders. There's like 16, 17, 18 of us that's just trying to really reform some of the services that Ripley County is receiving and maybe not fully receiving at the local level. So it's really exciting. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that changes lives when we can trim off 30 days here, maybe another chunk of time here to get a kid from foster to permanency quicker instead of temporary, and then facilitate some of those services. Instead of maybe a parent that takes them 20 days to get into the program, we can reduce that to 5, so then they can start that process so much quicker. But, so we're going to see where we get, but we've got a lot of folks up in Indianapolis watching to see how we do on this. So,
That's really awesome.
yeah, it's
Great
kind of
job.
cool. Thank you.
Great work.
Appreciate everything.
Helps the citizens of Ripley County. I thought we voted on that, Andrew, and
We
Stan,
did.
7-0. Correct? All right, Ripley County Commissioners here, $94,302.42. This is 47 cents. Appropriate funding for the Canaan Utilities. Would the President of the Commissioners please come forward and share with us?
This is the AR,
That's
the
the-
heat rate on
That's
that
the
is the
last-
AR.
You guys actually voted for this probably
We
last.
already
Just
did.
appropriate.
It's already sitting.
I'll make the motion on
I
that.
think Ron already made a motion.
Oh,
I
second.
just have to reappropriate it if they don't spend it. Like,
At
we've
the end.
appropriated this money before, but they didn't spend it and they didn't give me an invoice to encumber it. So I'm
Okay.
having to reappropriate it so we don't get.
Doesn't have to be spent till what, like 2028 or 2027,
Okay.
something like that, yeah.
So Ron has moved, and who was the second?
Me,
26
Andrew.
26, yeah.
is when it has to be completed.
Who was it?
Ron moved, and then Andrew seconds the motion. And any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Here we have the Commissioners' potential purchase property, $250,000. And would the President of the Commissioners please come forward? John, our counsel, will you please share, you sent us a very detailed message, but can we make sure that we're just clear on every step and everything that we need to do?
Sure. Who do you want to
Can
talk
can I
about?
explain what we're doing before we?
Maybe don't mention the number, though.
Okay.
Okay.
So an opportunity has arisen to expand the Ripley County Park system at the fairgrounds. Some ground went for sale or was offered for us to purchase. It's actually south of the current fairgrounds. We've actually used that lot for fairs and for everything. We've had the opportunity to go through the process and get a purchasing agreement. We did that first because we thought the deal was fair. It wasn't to kind of blindside you guys, but it was also, we were given the first option to buy, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to obtain it, okay? So it's
3-4 acres.
6.34 acres south of the park that is currently a hayfield that we have tied up. So now the process is kind of out of our hands from a commissioner's standpoint. I signed the contract It's for however many days the contract says until we can obtain the property. The legalities on it go to where John will discuss. But before that, does anybody have any questions about the property, location?
My question is, what about the building on the
So I tried to get a first right of refusal, so that way we can have if we proceed with this part of it. He doesn't want to sell it for a couple years, he said. So he kind of gave us you'll have it, but we didn't get a legal document written for a first right of refusal on it, because it's technically not for sale. And if it is, it has a building on it, a factory, facilities, there's a lot we need to really be thinking about. None of us have been inside of it, and it's not really for sale at this time.
Would he take care of the survey to get it cut and to get the property cut?
It's already cut up. It's already two deeds. There's two separate parcels, there's road access to it on it, and then we are also an adjoining landowner, so we already have that.
Okay.
So before we can do anything, though, we have to have 3 appraisals, correct? Two.
So here's the deal. Mark, with the commissioner's approval, executed what we call a contingent purchase agreement. And it was contingent solely upon you guys approving, saying, yep, we're on board with the commissioners as the purchasing agent of the county to move forward with trying to purchase this. But before we purchase land, statute, specifically the one that I sent you, Indiana Code 36-1-10.5-5 and 6, basically say you gotta get 2 disinterested appraisers to prepare an appraisal. They have to be professionally engaged in making appraisals or be trained as an appraiser. Return their separate appraisals to the purchasing agent, which would be the commissioners, but you guys adopt the resolution saying, yeah, go ahead and move forward with it, get your appraisals, get this done, and we'll see once where things shake out. And if it, basically, as long as the purchase price does not exceed the average of the 2 appraisals, then it can be purchased for the amount that's been talked about and kind of stated. But we have to make sure that that number doesn't exceed. And if for any reason it would exceed, the purchase price would exceed the average, then they have the right to say, we're not going to sell for any less, or maybe they'll meet our number. Who knows? But I don't want to say the number to basically taint, if you will, or skew any appraiser who may be looking at this. And of course, I presented with 3 names of local appraisers. One's in Decatur County, I think the other 2 are here in Ripley County.
So if we voted to go with this tonight, like go ahead with appraisals, if that number does come in between them appraisals, are we still required to buy it? Are we saying tonight, yes, if it comes in, we are purchasing it, or we'll bring it up at the next meeting?
It's got to be at the number that they're talking about or under. If it's
Okay.
above that.
I guess what I'm saying is, if we say yes, go ahead, if it does come under that, are we kind of committing tonight to purchase?
You kind of are.
Okay.
But again, as long as it comes in fair market value. This particular piece of ground, for best I can tell, is zoned agriculture. It's bare ground. Like Mark said, the fairgrounds have used it in the past to some degree.
I don't believe that is the correct zoning.
Maybe not. What's it?
I don't believe that is the correct zoning. Have you confirmed that?
Let me get on GIS and look at the layers. I'm looking at.
It's not that it matters, but it helps in the value on the appraisals, if that makes sense.
Hopefully it's agricultural.
It can be moved there. It's going to be public property if we proceed.
I don't know if that one's in the town or not. A rezone would be easy
And
enough if it's
Mark
within the
asked-
county, I would presume.
Plans for that property, Mark?
As of now, none. But I mean, like I said, it's kind of like if somebody else were to buy it, we're out of parking in the opportunity. We don't feel like after some research that around it, that there's going to be really any opportunities like this.
You only have 2 areas to grow or to expand, and that's either west or south.
And so that's,
The only negative thing that I think about it is, when I talked to a couple of the park board members, they didn't have a clue. Only a
That
couple
would
of
be-
people on
that
the
would-
park board knew about it, and it's like, they
Well-
really want to buy it when their board doesn't know about it? I think it's a good idea.
yeah.
The park may-
Personally, I think it's a good idea.
No one said it's park ground. There's already a building there that could be in question that the council had purchased previously as to whether that's actually a part of the park system. But I will say one thing, obviously it probably would be, but there are some things over there that need to be done. And if things weren't done, that make your point, Ron, on the park board, that's between the park board and the park board manager. That would not be us.
Okay.
This money's not being taken
And-
out of park money, though, it's being taken out of county.
And
Because the county owns the land.
in full,
I realize that, but
in full disclosure, the reason why we're talking about this now, and there was conversations and a lot of people weren't involved, is we thought the price was fair, and we wanted to sign a purchasing agreement before anyone else, I'll say it right now, before anyone else found out about it and bought it out from underneath us and put
I agree.
something else in.
If it-
So I apologize.
if it comes in at, and I'm just asking, if it comes in, the two appraisals are more than what we think the price is now, do you guys still want to purchase it, or?
There was still an asking price, right? The asking price?
Well, that would just prove that we're getting a fair deal from a local business that wants to do the county a solid by selling it to us to expand our park. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel, but
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, so you've moved,
I'll second.
and Andrew second.
We're making a motion to do what first? Are we making a motion
To
to
move
do the-
forward,
I prepared a resolution to that effect.
For the resolution?
yes.
That says Ripley County is interested in pursuing the purchase of this property, and they're authorizing the commissioners to get 2 appraisals conducted, and of course, the county will have to spend money to have appraisals done. Those appraisals need to come back within a set time, typically 30 days, and then copies are submitted to the auditor, and they keep them, and then from there, you look at the average, and it's either a yes, it complies.
Be nice to
No,
have
it
him,
doesn't.
be nice to have him at our next meeting, because that's no, like to get it done in this year's.
Well,
That's part of,
I think our purchasing agreement's only 90 days, and that's the reason why we put in the additional appropriation, and there's a reason why that number was where that number was at, because, like I said,
You've got a 90-day turnaround.
Then
Now,
without,
We'll sign that later.
if this is approved,
that's the zone.
will the commissioners secure the 2 individuals to make,
With the zone.
I believe that has to come directive from council. Is that correct, John?
do we, who contacts, if this is approved, who makes a contact of 2 individuals to make the approval?
Okay.
That is authorizing the commissioner
Okay.
to do.
Okay.
We will do that.
You're clear on that?
Yep.
Correct, if this
Yep.
goes. Okay, now we have a motion that's been properly made by Ron and Andrew for this particular action to occur. Any other discussion?
I just want to say I hope it comes back good and the money that we have appropriated works out for it, because it'll be a.
We don't have any money appropriated.
That's the next conversation.
Yeah.
This is a 2-part process.
Yeah.
So, all in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. Is that correct? We had, all right. You want to share something else?
No, I was just going to stay here and see whether it's appropriate that we do the additional appropriation as well tonight. Or, because if it does, then if everything comes back, then
That's a good.
I can
idea,
sign, I can meet with the title company and get the
because
process
You're only going to
rolling.
use what you need from this, and then the rest comes right back. So
I will caution, I don't know what title fees and closing costs would be. I would say it would be minuscule since there's,
doing business.
I would say it would be no more than 5%, but I'm just taking that on a whim.
I'll make a motion on 100411500 for that 250,000 for the central purpose.
Okay, we wasn't going to share that value.
Well, that's what we're asking for the appropriation.
You want that? Okay.
It's not, yeah.
Okay.
We will,
Not the amount,
Yep.
but that's
It's just an amount
Yep,
of the
yep.
appropriation.
We legally cannot exceed what the purchasing agreement says based off of the action that John.
So Andrew has moved. Do we have a second?
That's posted everywhere, correct?
I'll second.
And Ron has seconded the motion.
The additional
Any
appropriation
discussion?
is yes.
Essentially, there's a cap 2 ways,
Yep.
sort of.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0. It's Andrew and Ron. All right?
Any other question for me?
Well, we have
or am I
the
done?
highway here,
Okay,
for $1,380,416.44. This is to appropriate that to the CCMG funding.
Community crossing.
It's money we've already received, we
Yeah.
just haven't they just hadn't appropriated it yet.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Andrew's moved, do we have a second?
I'll second.
And David has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none? All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Thank you, Commissioner, 7-0.
thank you.
Now, we're going to go to, everybody clear on everything that we've done? On new business, Tara Briggs, the Health Department, she's unable to be with us this evening. This is for the ordinance of the FIMK position. And, ma'am, would you like to identify yourself and share with us?
I'm Missy Bird. I am the public health assistant currently. In 2026, I'll be the registrar. I'm here for Tara. I'll try my best to do this. When it comes to the animal ordinance, I really don't know a whole lot. And I was waiting on her notes and haven't received them just quite yet. So we'll go to the ordinance.
Oh, wait a minute, the ordinance about animal health?
No, that's
No,
my
the-
order.
femur.
Okay, that's what we, all right.
No, that's not it, that's the safe sleep transfer. That's totally different.
Okay, all right. So then I guess this is for safe sleep. Okay, so let me read this little list that you've got, I guess.
I can tell you, you want me to do it?
I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead,
So this
Amy.
grant is for a, FIMR, and that's.
I was going to say, so she's got a little,
Mortality resource manager or something.
Maternity.
Yeah, there you go. So they negotiated a pay of $44,000. We have appropriated what needs to be appropriated for 2025, but we need the ordinance approval for that amount. And that amount is also going to be for 2026. But I will have to bring that back after adoption hearing.
Okay,
I was going to say, I do have her little note that she wrote up.
would you like to share, please?
Sure. It says, Dr. Welch, Jason Smith, and I, as in Tara, have negotiated with Kirsten McCleary a starting salary that was accepted. She is the candidate that we have selected to fill the femur coordinator position. We offered $44,000 with the understanding that there will be no raise next year. The salary funds have already been appropriated through December 31st. I will need to add it to budget for 2026 later this year. Our selected candidate, Kirsten McCleary, brings a strong background in medical assisting and EMS. She is here at tonight's meeting if you desire for her to introduce herself to you all. She is prepared to start on Monday, October the 27th, if the salary ordinance is approved. The grant officially opened on October the 1st, so the state representative is eager to get her training started as soon as possible.
Thank you, and are you Kristen?
Yep, Kirsten.
Would you like to share a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. So my name is Kirsten McCleary. I come with a background of EMS and medical assisting. I actually became an EMT right out of high school, and I've stayed in the medical field since then. I'm really excited to see what I can do in this position, put some new things forward, hopefully improve our rates here in the county and the surrounding counties that I'll be over.
Do you have educational background? Did you have any professional training?
For my EMT and my medical assisting,
Everything. What's your training?
so I became an EMT right out of school. I went to
Okay.
school for that, got certified,
And
and
you
then
took that training where?
Princess Skin Education Center in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then my medical assisting, I actually did online during COVID. However, I did work in an office for 3 years before I moved out here, and then ended up working out of school nearby, and now I'm looking into getting back into healthcare.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And FEMUR stands for Fetal Infant Mortality Review.
Okay.
Okay.
Not the bone in your leg.
Okay, then she says, I am also requesting approval to transfer $93.92.
Okay, wait a minute, let's do this first.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
So
I'll second.
moved by Ron, and I have a second by David. Any other discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote for the salary ordinance of $44,000, and there will not be an increase in '26 for this position. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign, 7-0.
What's your question, Andrew?
I'm just seeing vote-wise, like I watched it on, we're good.
I just didn't know if you had a question that I could
No.
help you with or not.
No, we're
Okay.
good. I'm just making sure I'm doing the right.
Now, you said you had a request for $38? It's not, it wasn't submitted, did
It
we?
was
It's-
not, and you can do it if you want. I have told Tara that she has got to get these to me before Friday of the week, the Friday before council.
Okay, we don't accept them if they're not in by the required
I mean,
time.
you've done it prior to for her, but
No,
I
but
mean,
if she's not learning, we need to teach her a lesson.
Okay, so we're not gonna do that one.
let's get this.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Okay,
What else do we have?
we have the MCHC full-time to part-time.
So she said, proposed transition of our maternal child health coordinator position from full-time to part-time is tabled for now.
Okay. We tabled that at the last meeting. Okay, so,
I'll move to table it again then, I guess.
okay, do we have a second?
Is that what, that,
It's been, a motion's been made by Andrew, seconded by Diane, to table this again.
Perfect.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign.
sorry, I'm stealing.
7-0. Now we have the safe sleep. What was the question about safe sleep?
The safe sleep was just that transfer of money.
Of that $38?
It was 93.92.
93.92. Okay, we'll have that for next month.
Perfect.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the dog ordinance or the info that she got, or you want to table it until next time?
We'll wait till later in the meeting to talk about that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. Old business, other information? Any public comments or anything? We'll go to our committee reports, economic development, Andrew?
So, we have some movement in economic development with the Versailles Industrial Park and with Osgood. It's not right now, but due to the ability to have some incentives, we have some prospects, which is super for economic development for the area. That's about all I can say.
Thank you for your report. Diane, Southeastern Indiana Regional Planning?
They did have a meeting, and I was ill and was not able to attend, so I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Solid Waste District, David?
Our next meeting's in November, and I do have one other thing too. I had a business and deal with a guy that works with Gary Norman, and through our talking, he started saying that Gary Norman has really been on it. He said he's really been doing a good job. I just thought I would share that.
Thank you for sharing. We're always glad to hear that. Grants, Stan?
I have nothing.
Stephanie, you want to share about the committee you've been working with?
Sure. Back in August, during the budget hearing process, many of you know that there was some discussion about talking about the animal control issues that have been brought forward, and there was a meeting that we set up for September 16th, I believe. And we had that meeting here at the annex. I have a few notes from that that I can share with you. I apologize, I thought I was gonna go home and have time to make a copy for all of you, but I had an appointment come up and I didn't get home to get that done before coming here this evening. But at that meeting on September 16th, we had 12 people in attendance, including Steve Hofstetter, who was with Dearborn County Animal Control. He shared some very helpful information. He was invited by Lee Davidson from the Sheriff's Department, and we appreciated his effort to attend, and the Sheriff's Department for inviting him. I'm just going to read you some of the snippets or notes, I guess, of what I remember, and Peg and David were there as well, and they are certainly welcome to chime in. But one of the first things that I remember being discussed was, and I apologize, you know, the ladies from CARE were there as well, and several people that you had invited. But essentially what he said is that any ordinances, if we move forward with revising those, would have to be enforced by the county attorney. That is something that John and I have discussed briefly, and I'll, you know, want him to elaborate on that a bit further. But that was kind of new information for me. I think I had a conversation prior to the meeting about trying to ask the Sheriff's Department to check in with, you know, the prosecutor's office to figure out if new ordinances come into place, are they going to enforce those? And, you know, again, we learned that it actually would most of the time likely need to be enforced by the county attorney. So that was new information, because that, you know, just brings up a lot of different questions that we can expand upon in just a moment. But potentially planning or zoning may have regulations about how many animals that you can have on your property, kind of looking into some of those types of issues. Dearborn County has has enforcement only with an MOU, like a memorandum of understanding type of arrangement with Paws, which is the nonprofit that they use for kind of their facility. The gentleman mentioned that they use the National Animal Care and Control Association as a resource for training. He gave some examples that Dearborn County had 28 calls in August, but those calls doubled in September, so of course things can fluctuate. He mentioned that the animals that they get do not officially belong to Paws, the nonprofit, until after 5 days. He said that officers assist Paws during their downtime, sometimes with like cleaning cages, filing paperwork, making reports, things like that. There was mention that you could possibly start someone out in this position at like a mid-level jailer type of pay, which was mentioned at like around $15.50. And you can make increases with training and the certificates that they achieve. He mentioned that they have a $2,200 budget for their equipment and maintenance, which I don't want to speak for him, but my impression was he thought that was a little on the low side. There was discussion about that Switzerland County had a position posted recently that was starting at $37,000. He mentioned fines for the violations that people incur. He said a Class C violations, $25 is the fine for the first offense, $100 for the second, and $500 for the third. He mentioned that they have kind of a little, like a fleet, I guess, if you will, of vehicles, including a van for trapping that has kennels in it, an Explorer with a canine box, a trailer with boxes and crates. He mentioned that they did not have radios or body cams, but I understood that he thought that is something they would like to have in the future. And there was mention of needing to have like a DEA or a state license to be able to euthanize or tranquilize animals. We had a lot of discussion at that meeting. There was a lot of things that were shared. One interesting thing is that the sheriffs had utilized ChatGPT to try to get a low estimate for this type of initiative. And he said it would be, that came up with around $113,000. It seemed to me, and this is just my opinion, from the discussion during the meeting, that something like this could easily fall within $100,000 to $200,000 range, talking about all of the things like personnel and, the equipment and training and all those types of things. This gentleman in particular mentioned that they have 2 people that do this job, and that he thought that was kind of necessary and important for a variety of reasons. Like if you get called out to these types of situations, a lot of times you kind of need backup, or you need help, or you need another witness and those types of things. And so that was another interesting dynamic that I hadn't considered before. There had just been mention of maybe hiring one person to start. There was someone at our meeting from the Ripley County Humane Society, and there was mention that they are out of room there. And in fact, it sounds like they're over capacity there. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, if we take on a position like this, like where would these animals go? I mean, we'd have to obviously have facilities and those types of things. But it did not seem to me that at this time that the Humane Society is an easy option without some type of expansion being done there. And, that's another whole issue, would they, can they, are they going to type of a thing. And I didn't realize that, they're like a no-kill shelter. A lot of places are. And so in my mind, that means you're kind of committing to taking care of these animals, indefinitely if there's not a policy to euthanize after a certain period of time. We did have somebody in attendance at the meeting, and she, just to mention it, she's the only licensed wildlife rehab specialist that the county has. And she doesn't receive any funding from the county, and I don't still know a lot about that, about how that works as far as, getting wildlife and DNR, and if there's any type of a, involvement or process there. But, so do you guys have any other cliff notes that you can think of that are important?
I think you've covered it very well.
I mean, I have a
Good
couple
job.
other ones, but,
And I'm just gonna, I know one thing he said, just for the safety, a lot of times two people is just the most necessary. When he was talking about the funding and the numbers he had, I forgot what year it was, but it was definitely older numbers, and he said you would have to add a percentage to that to bring it up to today's standards. I know he was talking about that. But no, I think you covered it fairly well.
Two individuals here were part of the committee and the co-chair also. So Janine and Gayla, maybe they could come forward and share anything else?
I can. At meeting, the main thing that I would like to bring to council's attention is that we cannot compare to Dearborn County. There's no way. They got 51,000 to our 29 on their population alone. Businesses, revenue, everything. I mean, the area could be close, but we are starting with nothing. We have for years just had the dog warden, and we don't have a facility there that's at his house. That's not really a good facility. I made some notes. Everything that Scott told us at our committee meeting, our first committee meeting that we had here, is all true for what he told us. That's Dearborn County. But we're talking Ripley County. We're talking starting basically from scratch, because Ripley County has never owned a shelter, and we have never had an animal control officer. We've had a dog warden down through the years, and generally the most recent years that I know of, the dog warden has taken these animals to his residence or hers and kept them for 5 days or 10, however long they need to keep them, because there's different rules for different dogs. But the facility where they're keeping them is really not very good. A pole barn building with a dirt floor and straw is just not, you just can't clean that as far as sanitizing for animals. One thing else I'd like to keep in mind that Ripley County, they're not all just strays. I have some neighbors and friends that have some really high-dollar dogs, and they can get lost too. And Ripley County is faced with a liability there. If you take a high-dollar dog and you put it on this private property where Parvo has been, that's just something, I don't think you want that liability. I think that I have looked at, we don't have the property, I don't know, Ripley County owns a lot of land. If I've looked into the portable type kennels that can be purchased, they range from $7,000 all the way up to $123,000, depending on what you buy, what options you put in them. You can Google it and go on and look at these buildings are fixed. All you have to do is hook them to the sewer. They've got the drains included in them if you buy them that way. And you can go from 6 pins all the way up to 16, 32 pins, which right now, I don't know exactly how many pins Perry has out there, but, you know, I don't know the number, but I do have a picture of one that he has. I only have the one picture, so with your permission, I'll just show you. They have used like the welded wire, and you see the straw on the floor. And this is the liability that Ripley Care is talking about, that you guys, the one guy I know, his dog came to my house and I tied it up for him, and we talked. He's got 4,000 in that dog. So there's high-dollar dogs out there in Ripley County, show dogs. I know another guy that's got show dogs. So
I got one question though, just real quick. Do you think some of these dogs, if we had the chip scanner, would we be allowed to do that? To
Sure.
see and to literally call
Ripley
that
Care's
number
going
and
to,
take it
that's
back?
our next purchase. We're buying a chip scanner. And I'm going to start scanning these dogs that they're calling me personally on Messenger or calling my phone. I was called last night about one that was dumped, and it needs to be scanned, and it needs to be held for 5 days, you know, just to make sure that someone doesn't come forward that that's their dog, because it looks like a purebred German Shepherd. So,
Just, you know, there might be a lot of these dogs that are, I mean, like mine are all chipped, you know?
Right.
And it might be a quick turnaround, don't even need a pin.
and even if they just got a rabies tag, you can search that rabies tag right back to the owner, just going through the veterinarian, you know. But we have no, I mean, and that's on a positive note, I want you guys to know, we have been working cooperatively with Ripley County Humane Society and the Ripley County Health Department.
I've heard it on the radio this morning.
And we have done, you know, we're making good progress there, but we need to pool all our efforts together. We would like for council and the commissioners alike, for all of us to get together to make this a better and healthier place for all of us to live. Rabies is a real thing out there, and you don't want to get rabies, because after you have symptoms, you will die of it.
And I think Tara shared.
Yes.
That they want to collaborate,
Yes, they do.
and also offering a neutering and spading.
Yes, October 10th was our first. Kayla and I were there for when they come back to pick up the animals. The van was fully loaded. It was a great success. It was after dark before we got every dog and cat back to the people that, it was a transport. They come to Ripley County Humane Society and transport the animal to Brownsburg, and then they bring them back the same day. And then they get paperwork from the veterinarians, you know, how to take care of it the next few days, and it went super smooth. On November the 1st, we're going to have our first rabies and vaccine clinic at Ripley County Humane Society, and that's got to be scheduled by making a phone call to them and get you scheduled, because between 10:30 and 2:30 is going to be scheduled appointments, and then walk-ins, they'll take as long as the vaccine lasts. And we took the check to Ripley County Humane today, and we're working to get that done. The next spay neuter will be November the 14th. So this is going to help. Doing these kind of things is going to help the situation that we have currently with all these dogs and cats running amok. But we've got to have a place. Our officer, if we get an officer, they can't do anything unless they got a decent place to take these animals to. So, I mean, and I went to Decatur County and I got their figures, and we compare to no one in this southeastern Indiana as far as what we're spending on animals.
It's spay and neuter. I know Greensburg done it. We had some cats.
Greensburg's doing it
We took
again.
them there.
Yes.
We drove in, we dropped them off, we come back at a time and they were still sleeping when they.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, that's the way it works.
It was a slick deal. You just.
Oh, it works great. And see, now Ripley Care, Ripley County Humane Society, and the Health Department, the three of us got together and we got this going on, and we're going to try to keep it continued to go on in Ripley County. But what we need from council and the commissioners is a place and help getting a building. And Tara's working on ordinances, and she's got a legal degree, and she's going to work on animal ordinances for us, and I think it's all going to come together, but we need to be cooperative. Everybody needs to work together. And as a nonprofit, we qualify for grants. And I'll be the first to admit, I know nothing about it, but I've been told by Amy Streeter that she will help me. So I'm going to go get help from Amy, and that's another avenue for money, for us to not have to depend all the money from county government, general fund, wherever. But most of the counties that I've checked, they get most of their funds from the local income tax money. That's it. And I got the copy here from the city of Greensburg. They said they only do half, but they got $190,000.
Well, we can't compare it to a city, though.
No, you can't. Well, city of Greensburg went with Decatur County Community, and they are together. Now, if you look it up, it's Decatur County / Greensburg Animal Shelter. They're together. So the same thing can work here. All we have to do is everybody has to work together to make it happen.
Thank you, Janine. If I may, we had a second smaller meeting for everybody else, just to know, October 9th at the Grub. And the intent behind that meeting was to try to get together to talk about some numbers and some more kind of concrete information. We didn't quite get that far. I said at that meeting, and I'll say it again publicly, I give a lot of credit to Janine and Gayla and everyone that you've been working with. It's so abundantly clear that they've poured a lot of time and energy and passion kind of into this initiative. And I clearly know that they're asking the county to give some true thought and attention to this. I know the commissioners have asked, for some money to be appropriated. And this is just my opinion. I feel like when we were meeting, when we met and there was such a larger number of people, to me, like, we have to dial that down a little bit, maybe to a smaller group, the commissioners, a couple council members, something. We have to really talk about some concrete information that the CARES group and the public just can't help us solve, quite frankly. I mean, and I'll give you some examples of some questions and things that I've considered, and I feel like as a county, if we want this to continue to move forward, we would have to think about these types of things. And so, for example, I'm just going to read them, they're random, but like, who would be supervising this position? I personally think I've heard that it would be the commissioners, or it could be the sheriff's department, and so that would need some clarity. Like, where is this person going to work out of as far as like a building or a space? What types of equipment do they need to be able to do their job? Is it a computer, a cell phone, radios, training? Is this person going to be expected to be on call? And if so, how will that work out as far as time and pay? Like, how is that going to be handled? Can this work be done alone, or does it need a second person, as was recommended to us by Dearborn County? In addition to any specific animal control equipment, such as like cages or restraints or traps or things like that, we would need to consider vehicles and costs associated, like trailers, etc. Insurance. And you may have some information related to this, but like the cost for medical care of the animals that are picked up, like who provides for that? Who pays for the costs of their water, their feed, their bedding? If the county were to pay for a building addition, hypothetically, that's, at the Humane Society location, is there then an expectation of a larger like contractual amount or something that goes along with that? Currently, the Humane Society, as I mentioned, is a no-kill shelter, and so realistically, like, can the county continue to care for these animals indefinitely when the shelter is already over maximum capacity, presumably due to the no-kill policy? Like, who's going to enforce this? Like, we've heard that the ordinances would be more civil infractions that would need to be handled by the county attorney. Does our current attorney have the capacity to take these cases on? And if so, what will those costs involve? Where will the money for all of this come from if the county votes to move forward? And should we consider asking for public input first, given the nature of it? I don't know. There is at least, the one licensed wildlife rehab specialist in Ripley County at the present time. And she's not mentioned this at all, so I don't want to insinuate that, but like in my mind, I wondered, would funding, what we're talking about here, open up a door for future requests, either from something like that, or someone else? I think those are things we have to consider. And so that's why I mentioned at this meeting in October, and I've shared it with you in an email, that I wanted to kind of step down from being a co-chair of the larger committee, because I feel like a smaller committee needs to be formed to kind of continue to discuss and work on these issues before maybe we come to consideration on a number or a vote. And I'm sorry, I'm still reading some of my notes to see if I've missed anything. I just think the couple of meetings and interactions that we've had so far haven't really led us kind of down to dial into these kind of really concrete issues. And so, again, Peg, David, Roger, you were there. If you guys have anything to add or.
I do believe Sheriff Bradley told me that he would be willing to work with this individual because it would be helping the sheriff's department of some of these animal calls that they get. There was the last time I checked, there was 284 calls. Well, that doesn't mean every one of them was a dog or a cat. They're listed as animal calls. But I've got also the call logs that Perry has turned in and went through them and looked at them too. And it's justifiable to have an animal control officer.
I have a question. How many calls were there?
In a 7-month period, there was 284 calls listed.
How many of them were Ripley County? How many of them were the city of Batesville?
There was some listed, the city of Batesville, or it didn't say city of Batesville. It would just say Batesville. Well, I live over by Napoleon, Indiana, and I have a Batesville address. So if I've got an incident in my house, it's going to come up on there as Batesville because my address is Batesville. So I don't think that we can just say that they was all Batesville just because Batesville was behind the call. Because I know personally a lot of people in the Napoleon area have Batesville addresses.
Okay,
And Napoleon,
That's why I was asking.
right. I mean,
And Batesville has a facility.
Batesville has their facility. They are currently fixing their facility up. We went and we looked at the facility. It's not big. It don't have to be big. We don't have to go crazy and hog wild. What are we doing right now? What are we doing now, currently? And who pays for it when Perry takes the dog to the vet? Because they're on the ledgers, they do go. Not often, but they do go. And I don't know whether it was a medical reason or whether they were euthanized. It doesn't make any difference because when you get the county involved, you got to realize we can't save them all, and yes, we go have to euthanize dogs and cats. Going to have to do it. I mean, people aren't being responsible pet owners. They're not spading and neutering, and every shelter, talk to every shelter. Just do some research yourselves. Call them up. Ask them, how many calls do you get? How many times do you have? Are you full? They're all full, basically. And, they're going to continue to be full until up east, several years ago, I know that they made some ordinances, and I don't remember the state. Do you remember the state when Donna was in it? It was up east, but they had strict laws, and they had animal control officers that was enforcing them. And if you got caught with a dog that was not spayed or neutered, you had a $500 fine just immediately. Now, if you want to raise dogs, that's fine. Get you a kennel license and have your operation and be open to inspections by the ACO and clean this up. With the backyard breeders alone is just, it's astronomical.
And Perry each month reports to Amy.
Yes, he does.
And is given his log sheet.
Yes.
I'll call it a log sheet.
Yeah.
I don't really know with the dog warden's report.
Right.
Ripley County. And he does submit a dog sheet each month.
Yes.
To the auditor of Ripley County.
Yes, I have
And
picked
I
up my
think he's been
copy
very
from,
punctual.
Yes.
This was for September and he filed it October 2nd.
yes, he files it every month.
Each dog would hear.
Yeah, he's in the office the first
This,
work day of the month.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, Perry's doing a good job. Perry's doing a great job, and he's a good person. It's the position. That we can't address cats. We can't do anything with cats. He can't do anything with any horse that's, falling down in the pasture because it's not being fed. We got animal issues. There was 2 killed at Pierceville because they got out on the highway because they weren't being fed, and that was just last year. So,
John, Is this something that you would consider? You know?
And is that every
question.
county?
In what-
Is that every county or is that just Dearborn County? Because Scott told us that at that meeting, and I haven't researched that. I haven't asked our prosecutor whether our county prosecutor, he's right here, we can ask him tonight.
But
But-
he's our county attorney.
County attorney.
County
But the
attorney.
county prosecutor would not prosecute an animal neglect case?
I think if it rises to the level of criminal charges being brought in, or at
A
least
misdemeanor.
information by the sheriff's department or law enforcement.
It'd be a misdemeanor. The first
Right.
offense would be a misdemeanor, and that
Anything that rises
that
to
would
that
go to
level,
court,
that would
right?
be- That would be a crime.
That would go to court.
They were just saying that the county attorney
Well, you're
is
talking,
who would have
you're talking about an
to,
enforcement of the ordinance. And
Or the fine.
the question is, what within the
We-
ordinance are you actually seeking to enforce? Are you gonna incorporate the same language that's in the statute that makes it a criminal act? Because an ordinance typically can't be criminal, it's a civil infraction.
Right.
There's no jail penalty, there's no jail time with it. It's only seeking and trying to pursue corrective action by the use of fines.
And our current ordinance right now only deals with vicious dogs. That's it. So it's not really dealing with neglect. It's not, all the other issues that we have. It doesn't deal with it.
But there becomes, when is it neglect and when is it cruelty to an animal, which is actually in this.
There's a fine line.
Yeah, so which one is it? And do you need an ordinance? I think you'd have to be real specific in your ordinance so that you're not crossing into the areas that are essentially criminal and those which are basically an ordinance violation.
Right. And that's why we need these ordinances. Before we need an ACO, we got to get our ordinances straight first. And Tara said, she volunteered at the last meeting, and she took some information from me, and Tara's looking at it, and she does have a law degree. She's going to look at it, and she's going to try to write some. But, you're going to have to enforce some of these things. We're going to have to have the cooperations from the sheriff's department, because right now, Perry don't have the authority, so he can't really do anything. I've talked to him personally a couple of years ago about a case that I asked him, can you go talk to these people? No, I can't go talk to them. I don't have the authority. So we need somebody with the authority that can go talk to these people, and I don't have the authority, but I ain't scared to talk to these people, and I have. Well, I ain't scared.
So let's share here. What should be our first step? John, what do you see as, what's our steps that we need to take in sequence?
Well, having no money to fund what you want to do is probably your primary hurdle to get over. And I don't see where you can put a local income tax on. They did away with the dog tax, but they do now have, the state allows you, I think, to tax up to, is it $5 per dog?
I think so.
But nothing about cats. And cats are
Oh,
probably the
cats
issue,
are,
probably.
yeah, it's just crazy.
And even I'm looking at Dearborn County's ordinance, and they charge more than the typical state ordinance, which I presume they're trying to get that enforced under home rule. And I don't know if there'd be the ability to collect attorney fees, because sometimes it takes that being permitted by statute as far as an enabling statute to do that ordinance. The other thing is, I'm sorry, these aren't licensing fees, these are county permit fees. to have a
Permit,
dog.
yeah. Mhm.
Permit fee.
Yeah, and don't call it a dog tax. I did call it a dog tax once.
So, and then that money can be used for animal control, but the question is, so you're essentially gonna go out, are you gonna send this officer out headhunting for everybody who's got a permit for their dog? Neighbors?
I don't think it'll ever work that way. I mean, there's no,
Dog permits, and the irresponsible people wouldn't. And then
You know,
there
that's
again,
exactly
that's-
right.
That's a lot like gun control in a way. The responsible
Right, I
people
mean,
handle their firearms properly, the
it's-
irresponsible ones are gonna do it regardless.
most people
And
that are
typically-
responsible pet parents aren't going to have a problem with paying $5 per dog.
They're probably not, but the problem is they're paying to enforce what happens with the irresponsible ones.
So I have a question. It seems to me like
Not paying $5.
we've got the cart way in front of the horse after listening to Stephanie. Doesn't your group, like Stephanie said, and I'm asking because I've not been part of it, but doesn't the council and the commissioner that's on there, don't the four of you guys need to meet? Because no offense, we can't have the public coming in and telling us how to spend our money. You guys know the money that we have, what we can do. If a fine's gonna be $25 and John's gonna have to charge $50, I think you three, four, like you were saying, need to sit down and, right now, we're just throwing a bunch of stuff out there and say, okay, what do we need to do?
Right, you
My
can't,
opinion is the four of you need to, just the four of you, again, no offense, just the four of you need to sit down and talk. Because you have to take your heart out of this, and your heart's in this. God bless you for that, right? But your heart can't be in this. It's got to be with your brain to come. I mean, this is a big, I'm not saying I'm not for the.
I have a question.
It's a big, big project.
It is, but I
You
have a
don't do it
question.
Step by step. It's just like going up steps at a house. If you try to step number 4, you're not going to make it, and all these other steps are missed.
My question to council and commissioners is, why?
Why?
Why are we the only county in southeast Indiana that is not doing what the other counties are doing
Well,
at
we're
ACO?
working on it. We're working on it.
Right.
Working on it.
Well-
It's never been needed.
Oh, it's been needed for years. It's
You know
just
the
not been
commissioners never brought
done.
it up to our attention.
Right.
But that's my thought.
I first asked for an ACO
That was
in
my
2007.
Andrew has a question.
Can I say something? I'm happy that you guys are here and addressing this issue. Like you said, we can't just go all in at once. We're
No,
looking for
you
building
can't.
blocks. Can you give us some ideas on a building block system that's gonna come up? We wanna make this good, and I'm sure everybody on this table wants to. make this good.
Absolutely.
We all wanna work together and help, and let's
You
get
guys got to
some sort
figure
of a
out if you
plan.
if we got the funding, which
But
there should be-
here's
there should
the
be funds
question that's-
available.
That's, for me, and I haven't been a part of this, I haven't even. been
Right.
here, No offense.
Forever.
Yeah,
right,
so I'm kind of on the outside looking in. Why don't we make a little plan of what's the building blocks? Let's do a plan on how, let's say, we want to do this year, and I was just writing down a few notes. Perry has a place, it's not suitable.
No, it's not
because
good,
there's,
but it's what we got.
Things, if we could do concrete and a few different things to help his place out for now, it would be a low-cost area to get everything suitable for the
Concrete
pet.
slab with drain
Yep,
can range from $5.20 to up to $12 per square foot.
exactly, yeah. Which is minuscule over what I did quick figures on is 892,000 by the time we get personnel, vehicles, training, infrastructure, maintenance support, rehabilitation.
Yeah,
that's
Franklin
the-
County is relatively, close to us as well. They have 2 shelters.
Yeah.
They have one for cats, they have one for dogs.
So I had 892, and like I said, I just walked into this.
Right.
Don't persecute.
And like I
I'm
told
just
you, I
thinking-
don't know about grants, but I know there's grants out there that's available for nonprofits like our group, Ripley Care. And this next year, we're going to go after as many grants as we can get.
So right
And
there
there
gives me
is
a
where
little
we
bit
can
more
come
hope.
up with some money to, everybody, we're asking for cooperation is what we're asking for.
And I think everybody's willing to cooperate, but without having an overall expense, a plan,
I think we ought to
Yeah.
start small. I mean,
Exactly,
Harry,
that's-
I don't know how many
It
pins
is.
he's got. He's got 4, maybe 6.
Yeah.
That's all we need to start with.
Right, and if we can put concrete down with drains in it, and it costs the county $8,000, Perry's there, he's doing it. Obviously, he's not deputized, obviously, we're not gonna have somebody tomorrow that's gonna be deputized.
Right, but you're going to
run
put
this, but
concrete
we're
on private
starting.
property. I think
Yeah.
that's another issue that I've been told by people,
That
Joe
could be,
Public,
yeah.
that when their dog is at Perry's, and if Perry happens to be at work, they can't go, there's certain times they can't go there to see if that is indeed their dog in that pen. So it needs to be someplace, we need to keep in mind that we need to have someplace where people can go and check to see if their dog is being held.
And then
But it's not on private property.
is there any way else, shape, or form that we can work with other agencies around to kind of alleviate some of our pressure?
Well-
Because Perry has 4 or 6 kennels. Can we do
He
a
takes them to the
stipend
Humane
to
Society.
help here, or do a stipend? I'm just spitballing, because I
Right.
have no clue I'm just spitballing here.
As many
Is there
times
an
as he
idea?
can, as much as possible, he takes them to Ripley County Humane Society. Ripley County Humane Society is a no-kill shelter. Any of them that say society are no-kill. Okay, so if you have a county operation and you have Ripley County Humane Society, the county operation is going to euthanize dogs. I mean,
Okay, hear
right.
me out here. I'm not advocating for us to build one today.
No, me neither, but
But
we need to
hear
think
me,
about,
as far as Perry,
right?
alleviating some of these issues, being able to work with, not because, obviously, we don't have one.
Right. We don't,
don't have
right.
it.
Anything we do at this
So
point is
anything
going to be
we-
an improvement.
Any step forward is better than 2 steps back.
Absolutely.
So I
Okay,
wanted to bring up,
Roger, would you like to share?
so everybody's
please?
throwing Perry out there. Perry's not been involved in any of these conversations. Perry may
He's
not
been
be
asked
our
to
guy.
come-
He may not be
Right.
interested.
I'm just saying, as
So
an
what I would like
example.
to recommend as a commissioner side, if you guys are committed to this, which it sounds like you are, I think the commissioners need to have a conversation with Perry to see if this is something he would even want to be interested in doing.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
that's the first step
Wait a
we need to
minute.
do.
It's not Perry, it's
It's Polly.
Right.
But
We're-
I think your committee needs to sit down and bring something to us that's solid.
No, that's what I'm saying.
As
is
a
We need a
commissioner,
number, we
You
need
guys
building
can-
blocks.
you guys can talk
See
to
if they're willing
Polly.
to do this job. And if they're not, then we need to start looking for somebody else.
Exactly.
If that's the path we're going.
Right.
I just wanted to bring that up.
To me, it's
I'm
just,
glad you did. And were you going to share that you don't want to chair anymore, Stephanie?
well, I thought I mentioned that, but maybe that wasn't clear.
She
Did
did.
you mention that?
Yes, she did.
You mentioned you're not going to be chair
I
anymore.
just, I
She-
feel like, there's a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is because I feel like the larger committee, like we kind of have these 2 different things, groups kind of within the larger committee. There's obviously the very passionate group that's wanting to move forward and all these kinds of issues, and I feel like those of us that are in county government are kind of holding that back in a way, because we have to get together to figure these issues out. I can't, as a council member in good conscience, vote for a $30,000 or $40,000 position for somebody to hold it without knowing where are they taking these animals? Is there room for them? And is there money for their medical bills? And is there money for their feed? And why are we gonna go forward with, drafting new ordinances if there's nobody to actually enforce them? I do not. I don't know, but I don't want this to snowball into saying that it's a
Big
$30,000 or
county,
$40,000
comes out-
project, and then it continues to come back and ask the
Yeah, it's good. Comes out of general. Yeah, comes out of general fund now.
Stephanie, that's why you're a good chair. Because you're putting
Thinking.
the horse in front of the cart, and you're going down the steps, and you're not just in a pinball, just going bam, 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 bam. You're going down the line, I feel, just from listening, for the steps it needed to take. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate
Yeah.
that, but I don't want to be in the position of saying, yeah, we approved $30,000 or $40,000 for a position, but yet we have to continue to come back and ask for, equipment and radios and training and a facility and a building. I feel like we have to figure those things out kind of first, because they're so interconnected to one
I
another.
think the first thing, I think Roger's right. I think the first thing we need to do, we need to find out if Perry wants to go ahead, move forward with this.
But it hasn't been approved, it hasn't been appropriated,
Well-
There's nothing that he's involved with.
It's
Now,
Polly.
Polly
Polly
is receiving
She's receiving them.
She-
We know.
no benefits, but I believe the commissioners are going to reach out and ask if this is a position that the person wants to continue with.
Right.
Am I clear?
If-
Are
if-
we okay?
But if
I'm
it doesn't
asking
go
why.
anywhere and he quits, then where are we at?
Well,
This
then
is
we-
all in limbo right now. This is all
I-
speculation.
We've been in limbo for 30 years.
Right, and we're trying to
You're
build.
asking them to ask him if he wants to take a position that's not even been appropriated yet, and we don't have another budget to kind of really support the position itself. It's just,
Now, the acquisition is being funded in the 26 budget.
But he's already got, Polly already has that position. We're asking him to take another position that we don't even know that we're gonna have.
Well, wait a
That's what I'm
minute.
saying. Do that.
Just a minute. Okay, yes, ma'am.
You guys might come to a better decision once you listen to some of Tara's input that because she's been doing lots of research.
Okay.
So maybe this will help you guys come up with some thoughts, some ideas.
I'm going by what the committee says.
And granted, I do not know this by heart.
Okay.
Because I'm not involved in this one.
And to you, I appreciate,
Thanks.
I don't think, it wasn't my intent to say.
no, I was talking to her, but yeah, I thank you too. But, yeah.
Back to what you said, I was not intending on offering him this position.
I know where you're
I
at.
was wanting to let him know this is what we're planning on doing in the future. Is it something you would be interested in, or you want to
Where's
do
your
what you
committee?
do?
Here we go again, everybody from the.
Right.
We're just
Yeah.
like feeling them out.
That's the worst thing you can ever
Keep
do.
your own answers to the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
I see what you're
I
saying,
understand that.
too.
What happens?
And I see the
what
building
happens
blocks,
if you take a dog
like
and
she
it's got a part?
stated, like, we can't go all out from the get-go. We have to work,
For every dog.
and that's where the cooperation of
I never thought of it.
all of us together has to work to build. It may not be this year, next year, the year after,
I don't know
Kayla
what
and
happened,
me,
but.
Tara said that she would help you with writing grants also. She can help with that also.
Yeah, okay, good.
Because when you mentioned grants, which she walked away before I was done talking, but when she mentioned grants and that they were going to go after these grants and do these grants, like, that's the funding numbers that we need to make our decisions prior to, not
True.
speculation. Like, we're a hard number people.
Okay.
And
You want to go ahead and share?
Stan?
Oh, excuse me, Stan.
I've got a question. I think the biggest thing here is funding, right?
Right.
With funding. John, would this not be considered public safety?
It's not.
Might be an argument for it, but I don't think it fits into the public safety tax criteria. Or at least I haven't seen anything that seemed to
Okay.
lead that way. When we worked on that for like 911, jail, the sheriff's office, EMS, that type of stuff.
Even if this person has to be deputized?
I mean, it could go into that, I suppose, if that's a deputized position from the sheriff's office, obviously, the 20% that's used can be used for operational costs of the sheriff's department. I suppose money would be available there. But there again, and I'm not saying this is what you do, but if the Humane Society is in capacity, can't take on what they're doing, and can't take the dogs of the county, I mean.
They are taking dogs from the county.
Yeah, but if they can't take them if they're full though,
Well, she told us today that Perry was holding two until they could take them, and that's how they're working
They're
together.
working together already. They're all working together.
the question becomes
As soon as
where,
they get some adopted.
where's your most efficient use of the county funds?
John,
Because if
I'm
people aren't
pretty
gonna
sure
come in
that,
and collect an animal, it's been dumped, dropped, abandoned, hurt, whatever the case may be, then maybe the next best thing is euthanization. I don't know. I mean, these are things that people hate to make decisions on because nobody wants to be the person that has to say, well, I'm sorry, you don't get to live any longer. But
Well, if they're
And-
sick or they're injured, all repair.
and John, I'm pretty sure that when we talked to the gentleman from Dearborn County, if I remember correctly, that he was saying that the safety fund did not apply.
I don't think,
But,
I can't see where you stretch it into that.
Do you remember? Do you
It is
remember him
not. I
talking
don't-
about
that
that
is
briefly?
not.
I remember having that question, and I kind of think that is what I heard, but, it might be something we have to look into more.
I don't know.
from being on
If
that
the
committee
legislature
of
would
the
change
safety
the rules
tax,
on what you
I'm
can
not
use it for,
comfortable
fine, but the way it's written now,
I sent an email during budget hearings that had everything that could be used for.
It is
down
not
down
on
the
there.
line, but I'm looking for that email and I can't find it. So if you guys can find it.
Okay.
We went
you guys
through
are all
that.
sent it.
So Tara just texted me and said that Petco has a big grant.
Yes.
So that would be a good
Right.
Okay, so I gave you all this. This is from her perspective. But she gave me, since you guys are numbers people, I'll read you what she wrote down for me. So for the daily rates for care under as needed model, for a dog, it's $25 per day at Daisy's. The Rising Sun Vet, it's $25 per day. It says Animal Medical Hospital Greensburg, $50 daily overnight stay. That includes water, bedding, food, cleaning, dog run, and staff. At the Tri-County Vet, it's $22 for a dog overnight observation. At Arc Farm Boarding, it's $240 per monthly, and then $20 per day if owner provides food, $25 per day if food provided. It also says Jennings Vet is $20 to $30 per day for food. For a cat, she's got $25 per day for Daisy's. Rising Sun Vet is $25 per day. Animal Medical Hospital in Greensburg, it's also the $50 daily overnight stay, which includes water, bedding, food, cleaning, and staff. Tri-County Vet is $18 for cat overnight observation. Arc Family Boarding is $250 per month, and then $20 per day if owner provides food, $25 per day if the food provided includes litter. Jennings Vet was $20 to $30 per day for food. Then she's got horse, donkey, cow. I don't know if you guys want me to go into that with you guys. But the one thing that she did say about pets being euthanized is that's $200 to $400. And then it's $75 for cremation. If that helps in any realm. I mean, she's got a lot of information. She's really the one that, if you guys have got questions, just give her an email, stop by, call, whatever.
That's very complete, we appreciate that.
And I have one question that I keep thinking will come up, or the answer, but let's say we have this up and running, and one day I notice my dog getting at the house. How would I ever know if it has been picked up by this officer? Is there a website where there's daily pictures or daily something? How would I know if that officer had picked that dog up?
If you put an air tag on his
That's what
collar.
they
I was going to say, or
Without
microchipping.
an air
That's what
tag.
they do at Batesville, the street department and Batesville City Police. They put it up on Facebook, that they've got the dog, put pictures of the dog up. They put it on several sites, and then it's shared through all nonprofit organizations that are advocating for pet wellness, and we all share it, and it just blows up.
So that's got to be part of
Social
the job
media is
description
big.
too. I mean, that could be a big job, just entering and answering all them too. I mean, it's something to think about, I do think.
As a citizen, I found two dumped dogs in the middle of nowhere earlier this year, and I felt really badly for these dogs, and I picked them up. I could not reach the dog warden, and I called the Humane Society, and they said that they were full. And so I'm sure that there's a lot of other people out there that are like me. Luckily, I posted them on Facebook, and a neighbor kind of down the road took both of these dogs. I had two dogs. I would have cared for them, but my dogs didn't like these dogs, so it wasn't going to work out. But I will say, then before, it's frustrating as a person in the community when you're calling what resources are there and they're full and they can't help you.
Well, right now, Ripley Humane has people that do foster dogs away from the shelter, so that they don't get euthanized until they get rid of. They try to rotate this.
That's great.
So David,
They do use, a lot of these places use social media to let people know where these animals are at. I know that's what Batesville Street Department does, paying people assisting animals in need. They do a lot of that themselves, posting things. Judy Bellman posts things on Facebook, and that's how people find out that their dog is there. And Perry does post stuff, Polly does post stuff online because I follow her that, and anytime I see it, I share it and boost it. You just keep boosting it so these dogs can go back home where they belong.
Tara's answer was Facebook. She would put it on Facebook, whether that would be
I
on,
mean, I don't ever see it on my Facebook.
right.
I guess that's just my question. Wow, my dog's gone. if I was, yeah, I mean, I would know where to just being in this position, but a normal, if my mom lost her dog, she wouldn't have any idea
She on Facebook.
where to find it. So I thought maybe there might be a Ripley County website where it's daily updated with pictures of the dogs and all of that, which it was just a question that,
We do have a Facebook page, so I don't know if she's saying the Health Department Facebook page or just Facebook in general.
All right, page, Ripley Care's got a Facebook page.
The dog warden does.
The dog warden's got one, and all these dogs, I mean, I got on Facebook.
If I understand this correctly, and thank Tara very, very much for everyone's hard work. Stephanie, do you want to continue on the committee or share with me what you want to do?
I mean, I stated a little bit ago, I mean, my suggestion is that there be a smaller committee of, the, government or county employees, or, excuse me, commissioner, council members, whoever, somebody from the sheriff's department that has to get together, in my opinion, and figure out some of the answers to these questions, before it moves forward. But that's just my opinion. Somebody else might have a different one.
Thank you. The individuals will get together. Now, will you be joining us, Stephanie? David, myself, Roger, and Sheriff's Department, and Tara. Do you want to join us, or do you want someone else from the council to come?
I have no problem joining.
Okay, so we will have this information for our next council meeting. Commissioners are going to be talking to Polly, and I have sent values and things for all the staff, what Polly receives, what a person part-time, because of no benefits, that'd be about 4 hours per day. I gave a cost here of a post-frame building with concrete, and those specifications was also sent in my email. And, but we'll come back and have that information at the next council meeting about this, and we'll keep everyone posted about this. Now, other items?
Maybe think of the building blocks of the establishment before you get too far.
And
Right.
Yes, I
also,
agree.
just because I didn't give him an opportunity earlier, John, when you and I spoke, you kind of had I don't remember now what you said, but you had just a rough ballpark of if A, B, and C happen, you're kind of looking at a ballpark number per case sort of type thing. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, to file a petition and appearance of summons, because you got to summons the people into court on a civil infraction like this, and then show up and get them served, and either do the certified mailing or have them served by the sheriff. And I think the clerk would probably waive the filing fee for the county in all likelihood, but I don't know about the sheriff's service fee of trying to get someone served if they refuse to pick up certified mail. Certified mail on average costs $8-9, because you got to prove that you serve the people. If they don't show up to court, you take a default judgment against them, for the value of the fine or the penalty. And you have an order that says, hey, you need to comply with this ordinance within so many days, and if not, you get called back into court on contempt and so on and so forth. Just doing a petition and a default judgment, you're probably looking at a couple hours worth of time, and most of our attorneys in this county charge around $200 an hour, so you're looking at $400 for sure, give or take. So, and and there's not exactly a plethora or an overabundance of attorneys anymore. A lot of them are retiring, they're moving on to different types of work or jobs or things like that. So you're probably looking at with just about anybody who would take on that role of responsibility. And if somebody actually fights and wants to defend, and let's say there's discovery that they send back, well, when did you see this dog doing this or that? All of a sudden, it's more time involved and go through a trial, even though a trial may not take more than an hour and a half. You, between discovery, continuances, and the hearing, you could get into it over $1,000.
$1,000 real quick.
And a civil
If you
case,
can find an attorney that wants to practice
To do that.
dog law.
Well, it's not that, maybe I couldn't do it, but the problem is,
I don't know.
this is not a full-time job. This is done as an independent contractor and to take on this extra stuff. I mean, that's something, you could either put it into the, whatever retainer, but not knowing for sure what to expect in the first year of it happening, and how many complaints are gonna be made, and how many ordinance violations are gonna be issued, stuff like that. I think most any reasonably intelligent attorney is gonna jack that retainer up pretty high to say, I wanna be sure I'm covered.
I know what you make, and I don't see how that can cover.
Okay.
In
Well-
civil cases like this, if somebody doesn't have representation, they represent themselves, is that correct?
They can,
Do-
sure.
Does it have to be, I mean, is there such a thing as you have to appoint them an attorney if, like in a civil?
No, that's only on criminal matters and certain times,
This
maybe
is
in
sort of like
a
a
child's
speeding
matter, a child in need of services.
It's sort of like a speeding ticket, isn't it? They can just
Pretty
come in
much.
and pay it, or they can
Except
fight it.
there's specific statutory penalties on that. This would be
Right.
specific ordinance penalties, et cetera. You know, but I don't know that you can make attorney fees part of it legally. So I know a lot of times that those are written into ordinances and stuff, but I've seen some statutes that say only under certain conditions do you get to charge for attorney fees, like written contracts, certain penalties, you know, that are certain violations of statute, et cetera, things like that. Because the American rule of law is every party pays their own attorney fees unless it's contractually agreed upon, or things like all your credit card user agreements. They're gonna say reasonable cost of collection, including reasonable attorney fees.
Okay.
And by using that credit card, you just agreed you're gonna pay the attorney fees if they have to take you to court.
Peggy,
Okay.
And
Yes,
I-
ma'am.
Tara did want me to mention one thing before we leave.
Please do.
She just wanted me to, for the public, to let everybody know that we do have a rabies clinic on November the 1st, and that you can call the health department at 812-689-5751. And the two of us up front at the front desk are the ones taking the appointments. So just dial option 4 for vital records.
We appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. All
Stephanie, I
right.
hope you stay chair of the committee, because I think, once again, everything you've done is just the way I feel personally it needs to be done. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
One other thing, sorry to interrupt, but Tim
Yes.
pointed out something I never even thought about myself. I think we always automatically think dogs and cats and domestic pets. Horses, donkeys, cattle, the livestock, and she's pointed that out about like how often hooves need to be trimmed and the maintenance and care they give to certain animals of that nature. Plus, I'm thinking when you start getting into larger animals like that,
Bigger trailer,
you've just
bigger
exposed
building.
your animal control officer to kicks, bites, getting flared out, with horse hooves.
That's one of the reasons why the Dearborn County gentleman, I think, said that it requires a second person, when they go out on these types of calls.
Well, and it also gets into what you actually need for your facility as far as its ability to house. Are we just housing cats and dogs, or are we gonna have to house a Belgian horse or something?
Right.
But I mean, look how it was 5 years ago with horses. People were putting them out in the street and hitting them.
I have been on horse rescues for Ripley County without an ACO, without any council, without any commissioners. I got called, I went, and I literally helped the horses on a trailer, that a guy, we called him up, he showed up with his trailer, and we made a couple calls, and at that time, a good friend of mine was Indiana Horse Rescue, told me where we could take them, and we kept the location where we took them was undisclosed. We couldn't let anybody know because the woman was trying to kill these horses. She put antifreeze in their water. And we loaded them up and we put them over there and we adopted them out. And I don't think it cost very much at all for the county.
And I'm not saying, I don't
I
think
think we
they're saying
personally done it.
that they're not going to do it, I just think
We
they're
stepped
trying
up
to
and done
take,
it. There's
make sure they
too
look
many
at
horse people in
everything.
Ripley County that would let a horse just die. They'll load them up and take them to their own farm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. October 30th, we need to come back here for the budget because
The adoption hearing,
the adoption hearing, it didn't upload correctly.
it's
Is that-
correct, during Gateway, and that
The
was
Gateway.
not our fault, was not TLGF's fault, it was just a glitch in the system. And we are not, I did find out, are not the only county that it happened to, so.
6 o'clock, right?
Okay,
Yes.
6
But
o'clock.
I also have things before we leave.
Okay, just a minute.
So.
6 o'clock on October 30th in this room. And we're all
I need to be
council.
there because I will watch.
Everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
Amy, I have a question before we move on. Does the money that is appropriated or whatever for the dog warden, is that just a budget is that sort of payment for their services? Or is that like, does that include the bedding and food and water and
It's
medical
whatever
care?
he buys, he has supplies,
It was-
I don't have
it
that,
was
let me look
listed.
at that budget.
He has $2,000 in supplies. It was listed in the email I sent you of
It's in your
his,
budget.
it's in
on
the budget,
commissioners.
what mileage and supplies and his salary.
But everything is able, my question is everything always covered by that budget? Are there other expenses that are coming out of somewhere else?
No,
No.
not that, no.
It's in the commissioner's budget.
If, it's in the dog warden's budget, but it's
Dog
under
warden.
the commissioner's tab.
And that was all listed there. Okay, we're coming back October 30th, and Diane is chairing our budget staff consideration for raises and things for 2027. She's chairing that. We need 2 other council members to serve with Diane, and she was, everyone was really hoping that Andrew would consider serving with Diane.
I won't.
Okay. Do I have any volunteers who would like to serve with Diane on this task of, coming with suggestions? And Diane's going to really hold our feet to the fire that we meet our target dates and everything for this. And you're probably going to be starting in November.
Is it an option or a consideration to kind of make that like a little bit of a bigger subcommittee that includes some of the other representations from the other county offices, or
Well,
is this just?
it has to be 3 council members, can't be 4. And as the committee, that's what you're going to determine. If you would want them to come in half an hour before so we can have this all posted and take recommendations or discussion, or Diane and her committee are going to be thinking about that.
So that's something you gotta think about, because look what happened with the dog thing. When you brought in a bunch of people, you get 10,000 views or opinions, and you never get down to 1. Something to think about.
Okay, who would like to help Diane? She's a seasoned county staff. No, you have 22 years of experience, correct? And I think that's a great deal of expertise and information. So Stan will help. I need 1 more person.
It's not that I'm not willing to help, it's just, I don't know where this thing is going with the animal control stuff, and so I feel like I could do one or the other, but I don't know that I want to commit to both, because I don't know what's involved yet, so.
Well, that's a very honest opinion. Okay, Diane, I'll help you, and Stan, and Diane. And Diane is the chair.
Okay, thank you.
And that you'll arrange for a meeting with us 3. So that's Diane, Stan, and myself will serve on that committee. Thank you very much. Amy, you have other
I have
items?
the Ripley County Council meeting schedule for appropriations and council dates for 2026. I just need approval on it. I sent it to you guys.
I'll
Yes.
make
Do you need
So it's been moved to approve those dates. Do we have a second?
second?
And Ron has seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand.
And then I
Those
have a
opposed,
salary.
7-0.
A salary ordinance change, and it's only due to the fact that we're paying Craig's comp time out that he received from Saturdays at time and a half. Dunlap is actually paying for that. I just need to appropriate the money so it can be paid out. He's getting paid a lump sum for the 5 Saturdays that he's already worked. It's $1,355.61.
I'll move.
So it's been moved by Ron, a second?
I'll second.
Was that David or David?
David.
Okay. Ron moved, David second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign.
And I wanted to pay that out this week, but I'll have the appropriation next month because
Okay.
it's too late to get it for this month.
Okay, and we have paperwork to sign?
All this paperwork is signed.
Nobody's got anything to say right at this very moment. Andrew, I think you were right. Did you think that that was industrial? So it is. I looked on the layers of the zoning layers. That property, its current use is noted as agricultural on the property tax assessment record, but it is zoned what I think is I2 open industrial. It's kind of close to some, a portion of it, the old paper factory.
Yeah, yes.
Some of that's
Okay.
I1. I believe there's enough of a color differentiation that this is I2.
Is that light industrial? or-
I2 is open industrial.
Open, okay.
I1 is enclosed industrial. So open industrial is like outdoor storage. I wouldn't call it Wild West, but it's close.
Right.
There's only one there.
I have a question about the animal control thing that, I mean this with kindness and sincerity, it's not like a facetious question, but like, is it the job and the responsibility of the council to kind of figure out all of these things related to animal control? Or can we just ask the commissioners to come back with a plan and a question and having these things answered?
I think kind of we're responsible for buildings, funds, things of that nature,
Coming up with enough money to do whatever
and
the
being able
scope
to
of
fund it.
the service, the animal control officer, and what's going to do. And a lot of that would be based off of how far you extend an ordinance, because I've looked at Decatur County's ordinance, and I think Decatur County's a closer county of population and size to us, and they don't get into near as much stuff as Dearborn County's ordinance gets into.
Theirs
And-
was a little lighter.
Right, they don't even get into like the stuff that becomes criminal.
You can check it.
They, I think they have purposely left that up to
I got different colors.
Yeah.
statute.
I don't think Batesville does anything.
You know, if they have an animal control ordinance, I wouldn't mind reading it. I'm not sure if I would go enough.
I think the only thing that they have is
She's
you're not
gonna
allowed to
sign
have
that
pit
for it.
bulls, and your dogs have to be on a leash.
Yeah, but do we really make ordinances for stuff like that? Do we make the laws? We
No,
as a
no,
council
you would not adopt the ordinance for that purpose. You would obviously come up with the funding if it's to happen, and that's why I think the commissioners sort of said,
There's a lot to sign.
you
That's
said
why I
you
was
guys
over
can come
here
up with
like.
funding, and I think a lot of what this meeting and what Stephanie, you were able to kind of figure out, basically says, there's a range of numbers here depending on what you do that's gonna be this, but maybe that did or did not include the cost of a building or a location.
I seen your price on a 30 by 40 pole barn for $23,000. I want about 5 of them things.
Okay, it's right here in the paper. I took it out of last week's paper. Did I miscopy it?
Get them?
And I know too, John, at that meeting, they said that ordinance takes a huge amount of time to do. And they're like, we're not gonna go and put all the time into this if you're not gonna fund it. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
That's what
Well,
I said,
and I
if you
mean,
bring
that's
back
what I
the
think,
building law
looking at all the surrounding county ordinances,
See
you
it fun.
know,
I know.
because like I said, there's no reason for a civil ordinance
No,
to
you
get
did.
stuff that's covered by
That's just
statute,
extreme.
right, that, for the portions of it that become
Gosman,
criminal.
I've worked with him. He's built.
Why
a
would our
couple
animal
buildings
control
for us.
officer
Yeah, they do a good job.
when we have law?
I mean, but I think I miscopied it.
No, you didn't.
And it's in there every week.
I don't know, there's
So
a few things, I think it's kind of rudimentary.
It would have been,
I can't remember, but
corrected.
Ron, you were probably on here when Ed Armberg was still on here. I thought Ed always said, you don't want to have an animal control
Right, he says,
shelter. or
he
an
said
animal
he would
shelter.
say before budget, because everybody would squawk about giving money to the Humane Society, he says, give them 20,000, you're gonna save 300,000 or something
I
like that.
think when Janine asked the question about, why has it been so long and why do we still not have one, is because I think there was a lot of sharp minds on the council in the past, and still are, that realized this is a pretty good size undertaking. Anyway,
It does seem to get more complicated the more we talk about it, but.
well, because a lot of.
If you look
it turns
down the
into
line, though-
Hypotheticals, what if, what if, what if, what
Yeah,
if?
and we're not the ones making the plan, we're council. We are council.
That's right.
They bring it to us, and if we have the money, this is how it works. We're spinning our wheels over and over, and I don't know anything about
And maybe
prior
this-
to.
Well, that's what I'm
just-
saying. I feel like these
that's-
questions should be given to the commissioners and say, you answer these questions and come up with a plan of what you think is best and bring it back to us, but tell us what the number is that's attached to these answers, and then we say whether or not we think we're gonna fund it, but I'm just struggling, I guess.
And I
Stuck
feel
in that
bad for the
place.
two ladies that have their
They're
hearts set on
trying.
this, coming in here asking us for money,
Yeah.
but we don't know what we're giving, or what do you want, 500 grand, or how does it, we don't know. We are not the person that sets up the buildings, it makes the laws, the statutes, ordinance, or whatever, we fund those,
I mean, I
that's
feel like
it.
if we have a conversation, that those of us on the council with Roger, for example, and we said, Roger, does the county have a property that, we're gonna use for a kennel facility? Like, he would have to go back and ask the other commissioners. I just feel like we're kind of,
And if they don't,
I think
then
we should use the
Can I-
parking lot over there by the EMS building.
Can I make a suggestion? If I were gonna probably say it, I think, one, is there certainly a demand by some of the people in this county that says, yeah, I think we ought to have this? Yes. Is there a desire to try to provide something? Yes, within reason, within budget. The thing is, depending on how detailed and deep you make it, probably magnifies or minimizes the cost. So maybe a person would sit down, like 3 of you from council, 1 from commissioners, 1 person, and let's go through those ordinances I sent through, like, okay, which one of these provisions, as we go through these, how many of these are gonna get, you just know by looking at certain things and what you're doing and what's going on, too expensive, too expensive, too expensive. These are within reason, and this would provide some form of, what's the word I'm looking for? A remedy for a situation, but if we're just talking about a lost pet and a stray, most of the people do exactly what you did. They post it on Facebook, hey, found at this location, or people put, I'm missing this pet,
Well, I think
How much of that gets taken, how much of that gets resolved that way?
I think Mark, Jeff, and Roger, if I heard it right to one meeting, Mark says, let's just send it to council and see if we'll get funding.
Well, and I
you
think
got-
they wanted to know if you guys were even on board with putting up any funding.
But that's just it, it's hard to say that, yeah, we're gonna pay for this. Like Andrew said, it's not for us to decide what to do.
But I think the whole thing.
it's up for us to decide to pay for it, but when we don't have a number that comes back, and I got Janine's point where she said, I want to start small and work, and I said, that right there told me that, okay, bring us something back that has a number that we have to work with, a number, a plan, of anything, starting small.
And would you want to make it a full-time position or a part-time position? Because I understand-
Positions not even spoke about.
Right.
To start small, as she said, that Polly's place may need some upgrades, and she said, well, you're putting money back into somebody that's not county, but if that's part of, he's a county employee, can we lease that from him?
You could lease, but you probably want to make everything there very portable that it can be taken out and removed, rather than making a fixture or something, a permanent improvement to real estate that the county doesn't own.
have we done
Right.
that for the
And if he
sheriff's
does
department and
move
the
out,
canine
then
dog?
he pays us $1 type.
Well,
I'm asking.
the canine dog for the county, I believe it's a marijuana dog, and I don't think that they go out for marijuana anymore, and you're only trained for one particular drug. But anyway, the officer that's in charge, it says K-9, he stays at his home, and he's given an hour of pay every day for care of that dog.
Right.
And so, I go past his residency and his unit's there, and also the dog, he is cared for, and he gets paid for 1 hour a day for taking care of that dog 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days.
But that includes his kennel fees, his boarding fees, and everything, the food it's supposed to.
Well,
be-
no,
No, not food, I seen that on the comment.
Yeah, $145, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that was, as far,
He
and
gets
I'll have
paid
to
for
talk
that
to my
for his
buddy that
salary.
was a state cop canine officer, because I built his kennel system for him when I was contracting. And I know that that's how his worked, to where that was his stipend, and he had to meet parameters on care, but that was his stipend.
But do you recall, did the state reimburse him for the improvement of a kennel on his property, or just the care, the time, the food, the maintenance of that animal?
I'm not gonna speak on that, because I'm not 100% sure, but in my thoughts. But
My gut says state board of accounts would likely have a problem with putting money into a permanent fixture that's not on county property.
exactly, I think that's why he
I think so.
received the stipend, and as
That's
long as
supposed to
his
offset whatever
kennels
costs.
were up to whatever standards and control standards, that was okay for him to keep that at that place. That's just, to my understanding, like I said, I'm not gonna speak on it.
Make a motion.
Any other
Yeah.
discussion? We all clear?
As much.
Okay,
That's
you
what-
got it. Do we have a motion to close our meeting? So
Motion.
moved by Ron. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? Andrew is seconded. All-
Everybody did.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Thank you very, very much.
Art Pegger, you put together a set time to me.
Amy, do you know anyone that's on the police merit board, like who is on that board?
No,
No, but I can look.
yeah, it's just like,
Just shoot some time.
Any